After many long adventures, Lord Rama, his faithful brother Lakshman, and their whole cheerful army of Vanaras, the brave monkey folk, came at last to the very edge of the world. Before them stretched the vast, endless sea. And far, far across the water lay the island of Lanka, where gentle Sita waited to be brought home. Lord Rama gazed across the waves. The water was so wide, and so deep, and so wild. There were no boats, and no bridges, nothing at all to carry his great army over to the other side. How, he wondered, could they ever cross? So Lord Rama knelt down upon the golden sand at the water's edge, folded his hands, and prayed. He asked the sea, ever so gently and patiently, to let them pass. For 3 whole days and 3 whole nights he waited there, calm and hopeful, his heart full of faith. But the sea only rolled on, wave after wave, and said not a word. The sun rose and set, and still the great water stayed silent. Yet Lord Rama did not grow angry, and he did not give up. He simply waited, patient and kind. And then, at last, oh, what a sight! The waters began to shimmer and swirl, and up from the glowing sea rose Samudra, the mighty sea god himself. He was made of living, sparkling blue-green water, with a crown of coral and pearls, and the kindest, most serene eyes you ever saw. The sea god bowed his crowned head low before Lord Rama. "Great prince," he said in a voice like gentle waves, "I cannot simply part my waters, that is not my nature. But I have a better way. Build a bridge upon me, and I promise, with all my heart, that I will hold it up and carry you safely across." "And you need not build it alone," said Samudra with a smile. He pointed toward the crowd of Vanaras. "There among your army is Nala, the son of the great heavenly builder. He was born with the gift to build. Let Nala lead the work, and this bridge shall be a wonder for all the ages." Out from the crowd stepped a bright-eyed young Vanara named Nala. He had a clever, kind face, and a builder's measuring cord at his waist. He bowed low to Lord Rama, his eyes shining with joy. "It would be my greatest honor," he said. "Together, we will build a road across the sea." Nala crouched at the water's edge and studied everything: how far away the island lay, how deep the water ran, how the sand and rocks were laid. In his clever mind, he pictured the whole great bridge, stone by stone, all the way to Lanka. Then he stood up, ready. "Bring me the mountains," he called. Faithful Hanuman leapt up onto a tall rock and raised his arm with a mighty, joyful cheer. "Come, my friends," he called to the Vanaras. "For Lord Rama, and for Mother Sita, let us build the greatest bridge the world has ever seen." And with a roar of happy voices, the whole army sprang into action. Oh, what a wonderful, busy sight it was! Vanaras of every size came running, some rolling great boulders, some shouldering whole green hills, and some carrying huge leafy trees pulled up roots and all. Big ones and little ones, all working together, everyone helping, everyone happy. Mighty Hanuman grew tall and strong, and lifted an entire hilltop onto his shoulder as easily as you might carry a basket of fruit. He strode down to the shore with the mountain balanced high, his long tail steady behind him, gentle and powerful and full of love for his work. Down on the beach, the Vanaras made a long, cheerful line and passed the stones from hand to hand to hand, all the way to the water. Big rocks and little rocks traveled smoothly down the chain, tails swishing, everyone grinning. When we all help together, even mountains can move. Then Nala did a most wonderful thing. Upon every single stone, he lovingly wrote the sacred name of Lord Rama, Ram. And as he traced each letter, it glowed soft and warm and golden, as if the very name itself were filled with light. And then, the greatest wonder of all. The first stone, glowing with Rama's name, was set gently upon the water. And instead of sinking down to the bottom, it floated. It bobbed there upon the waves, light as a leaf. The whole army gasped, then burst into cheers of pure amazement. Stone by shining stone, the bridge began to grow. Each rock, marked with Rama's name, floated up and locked into place beside the last, until a broad golden road stretched further and further out across the deep blue sea. Farther and farther the great bridge reached, a shimmering ribbon of stone creeping steadily across the endless water, straight toward the distant, misty island of Lanka. What had seemed impossible was coming true, because so many willing hands had joined together in faith. Now, all this time, a tiny little squirrel had been watching. She was ever so small, the tiniest helper on the whole beach, but her heart was as big as the sea. "I want to help too," she squeaked. So she rolled over and over in the wet sand until little grains stuck all over her furry coat. Then she scampered right up to the edge of the bridge and shook her little body hard, and a sprinkle of tiny sand grains tumbled down between the great stones, filling in the little gaps. Back she ran for more sand, and again, giving every single grain with all her love. Some of the big, strong Vanaras saw her, and they chuckled kindly to themselves. "Look at the little one," they laughed. "A few grains of sand? What good can such tiny bits possibly do?" But the little squirrel didn't mind, she just kept right on helping. Now Lord Rama had been watching too. And gently, lovingly, he knelt down and scooped the tiny squirrel up into his open hand. He held her close to his heart and smiled the warmest smile. "Do not laugh, my friends," he said softly. "This little one gives everything she has." And Lord Rama tenderly stroked the little squirrel's back with 3 of his fingers. And where his fingers touched, 3 soft pale stripes appeared upon her fur, a loving blessing she would carry forever. And that, dear ones, is why every little squirrel wears 3 pale stripes upon its back to this very day. "Remember this always," said Lord Rama, holding the little squirrel up for the whole army to see. "No help is ever too small. The mightiest mountain and the smallest grain of sand are equally precious when they are given with love." And all the Vanaras bowed their heads and understood. With glad and grateful hearts, the Vanaras placed the very last stones far out over the sea. They leapt and hugged and cheered along the whole length of the bridge, and clever Nala beamed with pride. The great road was almost finished. And then, it was done. The magnificent bridge, the Rama Setu, stretched unbroken all the way from the shore across the shining sea to the island of Lanka. A road built of faith and floating stones and the love of 1,000 willing hands, big and small. So Lord Rama and Lakshman and faithful Hanuman and the whole joyful army stepped together onto the great shining bridge, ready at last to cross the sea. Great things, you see, are never built by one pair of hands alone. The mighty carried mountains, and a tiny squirrel carried grains of sand, and in Lord Rama's loving eyes, every helper mattered, big or small. And how the friends crossed that shining bridge to Lanka, well, that is another story, for another day.